F Harvey. An introduction. William Fryer Harvey AM was born on 14th of April 1885 into a wealthy Quaker family in Leeds, West Yorkshire. He was educated at the Quaker Bootham School in Yorkshire and Leighton Park School in Reading, before university at Balliol College, Oxford. His health was fragile and he poured his energies into writing short stories, and in 1910 published his first collection, Midnight House. In the Great War he was with the Friends Ambulance Unit and then served as a surgeon lieutenant in the Royal Navy. There he received the Albert Medal for Lifesaving, but lung damage received at that time troubled him for the rest of his life. He continued to write short stories and even a memoir, but by 1925 ill health had forced his retirement to any outside work. 3 years later he published his second collection, which contained his macabre classic, The Beast with 5 Fingers. Only one more collection would come from his pen in his lifetime. For many years of his life he now lived in Switzerland with his wife, but a yearning to be home saw them back to England in 1935. W. F. Harvey died in Letchworth on the 4th of June 1937. He was 52.
The Beast with 5 Fingers by W. F. Harvey. When I was a little boy, I once went with my father to call on Adrian Bolsover. I played on the floor with a black spaniel while my father appealed for a subscription. Just before we left, my father said, "Mr. Bolsover, may my son here shake hands with you. It will be a thing to look back upon with pride when he grows to be a man." I came up to the bed on which the old man was lying and put my hand in his, awed by the still beauty of his face. He spoke to me kindly and hoped that I should always try to please my father. Then he placed his right hand on my head and asked for a blessing to rest upon me. "Amen," said my father, and I followed him out of the room, feeling as if I wanted to cry, but my father was in excellent spirits. "That old gentleman, Jim," said he, "is the most wonderful man in the whole town. For 10 years he has been quite blind." "But I saw his eyes," I said. "They were ever so black and shiny. They weren't shut up like Nora's puppies. Can't he see at all?" And so I learnt for the first time that a man might have eyes that looked dark and beautiful and shining without being able to see. "Just like Mrs. Tomlinson has big ears," I said, "and can't hear at all except when Mr. Tomlinson shouts." "Jim," said my father, "it's not right to talk about a lady's ears. Remember what Mr. Bolsover said about pleasing me and being a good boy." That was the only time I saw Adrian Bolsover. I soon forgot about him and the hand which he had laid in blessing on my head. But for a week I prayed that those dark, tender eyes might see. "His spaniel may have puppies," I said in my prayers, "and he will never be able to know how funny they look with their eyes all closed up. Please let Mr. Bolsover see." Adrian Bolsover, as my father had said, was a wonderful man. He came from an eccentric family. Bolsover's sons, for some reason, always seemed to marry very ordinary women, which perhaps accounted for the fact that no Bolsover had been a genius and only one Bolsover had been mad. But they were great champions of little causes, generous patrons of odd sciences, founders of querulous sects, trustworthy guides to the bypath meadows of erudition. Adrian was an authority on the fertilization of orchids. He had held at one time the family living at Bolsover Conyers until a congenital weakness of the lungs obliged him to seek a less rigorous climate in the sunny south coast watering place where I had seen him. Occasionally he would relieve one or other of the local clergy. My father described him as a fine preacher who gave long and inspiring sermons from what many men would have considered unprofitable texts. "An excellent proof," he would add, "of the truth of the doctrine of direct..."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?